Next, you have another question, which is objectives of legal research. Now, in the question, you need to read very carefully whether they are just asking research or legal research. All right, it's almost same thing only. But if they are asking you only research, wherever you are writing, you just need to write research is this, research aims at this, that, this, that. If they have mentioned specifically legal thing, right, this term legal, you need to answer your questions accordingly. That the main objectives of legal research are like this, that accordingly, you need to slightly like modify the answer a little bit, but otherwise it's same only. Research and legal research almost same. Now, objectives of legal research. What is objective basically?
Objectives means you have to important rules means
Important roles. Yeah, objective is like aim, right? Why you are doing it? Why are you studying law? What is your object? Maybe you want to practice, right? That is your object. So objective of legal research, that means why are you doing legal research? What you want to achieve out of it, right? That is what is objective of legal research. But also you can give one intro that legal research is that branch of knowledge that deals with principles of law, legal institutions, right? We maybe try to study some legislations or working or functioning of a certain court or other things, right? That is legal research. It's the study of relationship between world of law and the world that law purported to govern, right? It means we want to study law and how it relates with the society or maybe whom you want to serve, right? If there is a legislation called Indian Penal Code, we try to understand how Indian Penal Code is working in our society in India, right? That may be a legal research. The systematic investigation of problems and matters concerned with law such as codes, acts, constitution, etc. Right? We would basically try focusing on different types of codes that we have, different types of legislations, or the constitution that we have. And that is what is called as legal research. Legal research, legal researchers, whoever is doing legal research, right, they research into facts of social, political, or economic conditions which give rise to individual rules, acts, or codes, right? It also studies social, legal, and other acts. So there may be different legislations which a legal researcher would try to study. It can be related to legal doctrine, institutions, legal philosophy, or comparative study of law also. Like maybe we want to compare Constitution of India with that of Constitution of United States of America. Right? Maybe we want to study a certain concept of law. Legal doctrine as in maybe certain concept. Like interpretation of statute. We want to know what is interpretation. Why do we need that? That also can be a legal research, right? Or maybe we want to study different institutions. What is Supreme Court? How is Supreme Court functioning? Right? How many judges will be there? How it will carry forward its day-to-day activities? Those also may be a legal research that can be done. All right. Then objectives of legal research. What is the ultimate aim of doing a legal research? First, maybe find out lacuna, right? If there is anything missing in a legislation, if there are some problems, defects, or some shortcomings in a legislation or a legal institution, we try to find that out, right? If we feel that why so many cases are pending in courts, what is wrong with Indian courts, right? That can be also a legal research that we carry on. Okay. Next is discovery of new facts. Legal research may also aim at discovery of new facts that may be beneficial in bringing laws. For example, the fact that acid attack acid attack should be categorized as a separate crime under IPC was also highlighted by a legal research done by Law Commission of India. So what is acid attack? Have you seen that movie of Deepika Padukone? 2020 January it released. Remember the movie?
Yes, ma'am.
What was the name?
I don't know, but I saw that acid in some movies. I saw it, ma'am.
Yeah. So there was a movie, right?
Yeah.
Book or something it was named. So that there what happens, that acid attack, right? People try to attack with acid and just the face will be like this, its structure would be damaged or something will happen, right? So acid attack was not considered as a crime in India, all right, like a separate crime in India. Okay, it was considered as a grievous hurt where you disfigure a person's face or other body parts. All right, so acid attack as such, by the name acid attack, we were not having a crime. It was considered as causing grievous hurt to a person. All right, so what was
Yes,
is that we need to include as a separate crime under Indian Penal Code. And how it was done? It was done by a legal research which was done by Law Commission of India. So what legal research can do? It can help in discovery of new facts. That means we discovered that acid attack should be inserted as a separate crime under the criminal legislation and a higher punishment should be given for that. So that becomes a legal research, like
legal research.
of legal research. Consequences of new law or judicial decision. Take for example, a new law is introduced or a judicial decision has come. We will try to figure out its consequences, all right? With the help of legal research, researcher may try to highlight the possible positive or negative impact of a certain decision of the court. All right, that also they may try to do. Like take for example that Arnav Goswami case that happened few months back. When he was released on bail, many people try to analyze what will be its impact. Maybe many times news, like all these journalists and all are being arrested, saying that you have violated some right, this that has happened. So it was said that maybe now many people would come forward asking protection of their rights. Why? Because Supreme Court released Arnav Goswami on bail. Right? That all those are what? Those are legal research where we try to understand positive and negative side of a legislation or a judicial decision, right? Or maybe an institution. Propound new legal concepts. Legal research may also help in understanding or bringing new legal concepts. For example, there is a concept called absolute liability, which was developed by Supreme Court of India by doing research and finding out that this existing concept of strict liability is not serving its purpose. Okay, what was strict liability basically? If you are causing some harm to your neighbor, all right, you can come with an excuse that it was not my fault, it was not intentional, it was act of God or something like that. Okay, so Supreme Court realized that it is not serving the purpose because everyone would come forward with some excuse, they will escape the liability or punishment. So we need to develop a new concept, right? So it is what? Propound new legal concept. That means Supreme Court brought a new concept called as absolute liability. How? With the help of legal research only, right? Just because they did research on the existing topic, they came to know that we need a new concept to be introduced. Analyze the law and legal institutions from the point of view of history. Law is not static, right? They will change depending on the changes in society, depending on needs of the society. So legal research may aim at analyzing a law and legal institution from the point of view of history. Such study clearly identifies the entire journey that a legal concept has seen in all these years. All right. Take for example, if a child commits a wrong, what will happen? Child will not be liable. Then we have a new concept after that Nirbhaya gang rape case of Delhi. We have a new concept that if the child was between 16 to 18 years, we will try to see if he was mature enough or not. All these are what? There is a history that this law has seen, right? So with the help of legal research, maybe we try to analyze this entire history of events that has happened, right? That also may be a purpose. So analyze the law or legal institution from the point of view of history, or maybe how many judges were there in the Supreme Court initially. Its number has increased, again increased, again increased, again increased. Now how many members we have? This is entire history that Supreme Court has seen, right? So if you study that history, that also may become a legal research that you are doing. Examine the nature and scope of new law. If a new law is introduced, maybe you will try to understand its nature, its scope, if it's good, if it's bad, right? Take for example, recently there are protests all around with regard to this farm laws, right? Laws affecting farmers. You must have seen, right? There is protest going on. Why that protest is going on? Why so many people are commenting on it? Because they have tried to read the legislation and see its positive and negative impact, right? That is the reason why they have come forward. How they are able to do that? With the help of legal research only, right? So whenever there is a new law or a legislation, you can try to understand it, or you can try to see its positives and negatives as well with the help of legal research. Develop critical thinking. As a subject of study, legal research in academics aim at developing critical thinking ability among students. So as you go to the, like next semesters, right? Next few semesters, you will also have to do some kind of legal research. All right. So you will be given some topics where you need to conduct legal research and come to a conclusion. So that means in academics as well, students are given legal research, given to do legal research. Why? To develop critical thinking. Once you try to understand a certain law, critically try to examine it, you will develop your critical thinking ability, right? So that also may be one of the objectives of legal research, and that is the main purpose why it is introduced in schools, colleges, and universities. Today's students are...
What is the importance of this, ma'am? What is the importance of this legal research?
Importance of legal research, again same only. If you are doing legal research, you will come to know what is missing in the existing laws, what are the defects in the existing laws, and you can ask for new laws to be introduced. If a law is introduced, you can say these are the defects, these are the positives, right? Accordingly, you can either accept that or you can protest against that particular thing, right? You will develop some critical thinking ability. So see, this is the sentence that I have mentioned. Today's students are going to be tomorrow's advocates, judges, or policymakers, right? Whoever is studying law today, amongst them only some people will become judges, some will become lawyers, some people will go before parliament, they will maybe frame laws, right? So you need to have that critical thinking ability so that tomorrow when you are introducing a legislation, you will be able to see the positives and negatives yourself. If you are giving a judgment, you will be able to see the positives and negatives yourself, right? So whatever profession you are going into, you will be able to understand both sides of it in a better way. That is why we need it, right? Then better...
There are so many legal research now, ma'am. There are so many legal research now, ma'am. Only this six, only 9.
See, these 9
I
are...
understand this.
Yeah, 9
Some
are...
of the... Some only, these are only some topics, no, ma'am. Still is there of legal research, no?
Yeah, still it can be there, right? What is the objective of legal research? There may be different objectives also. Maybe simply you want to gather legal knowledge. That is also a characteristic or object. For that also you can do legal research, right? It can be n number of objectives that may be there, all right? These are some important...
Okay.
that I have given for you to read.
Okay. Okay.
Last
Okay,
one
ma'am.
is better interpretation of legal rules. So legal research will also help you understand the concept, be able to interpret it better. What is interpret? To see the true meaning of that particular provision. Right? So you will develop that skill also gradually with the help of legal research. So legal language sometimes may be complicated and very technical. For a layman, it may not be possible to understand it. So with the help of legal research, you may even try to simplify a certain provision. All right, take for example, last year there were changes with regard to this, right? Motor vehicle rules, fine that may be imposed if you are not wearing a helmet and riding, or if someone is drunk and driving, fines were increased, right? At that point of time, what happened, it was some changes that were made in the legislation, right? But everyone is not able to read those legal language and understand it. As a result, what happened, many people came forward, they tried to simplify the provisions, right? They clear cut, they said ki this is the fine for this particular crime, this is the fine for this particular crime, right? They simplified this entire process. How did they simplify? With the help of legal research only, right? So there can be different objectives for which you are doing legal research. All right, is it clear? So
Yes, ma'am.
objectives basically mean the purpose why you are doing legal research, right? If they ask you what are the functions of legal research, these only slightly you can twist and write same things only, right? That this legal research will help doing this, doing that. So this is a function of legal research. Clear, right?
Yes, ma'am.